Do you think that they're like with PWCC having been kicked off of eBay? Did you feel like there was an opportunity for yourself to be the Pokemon guy? Was that a
I mean,
factor?
we have really, I mean, we don't, well, I say we don't accept sports, but there are some people that like will throw in a card or two and we're like, fine, but we
Yeah.
only accept TCG. And I think that's kind of what sets us apart is that we, like Probstein is like, I think the biggest, there's Probstein and DC Sports 87, I think are the two like biggest Burbank cards. I mean, they're all sports guys who
Right.
do millions of dollars in Pokemon. And, it's, but they're sports, but they'll take anything,
Right.
at that point. So we're trying to be that folks to where, hey, we are exclusively TCG. We don't think of it as a kind of a second class citizen,
Gotcha.
that'll come through here, and really focus on that. And I think it's really helped, kind of set us apart because, there are these consignment places that have been in business for 20, 25 years on eBay who just have, massive amount of sales and, all the things that I'm learning how to scale a business and employees and controls and being able to, it's easy to ship one card, but shipping 2,000 cards and making sure nothing's mixed up and then paying out, in a week, 6 figures to however many people. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that scaling wwise is they don't teach you,
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing that at Rare Candy right now. And it's it's a behemoth. The inventory system is the toughest part for me, keeping track of all that stuff. Thankfully I have other people that do that, but that's just like I just can't wrap my head around it. There's so much that goes into it. I feel like that it's just stressful, like you said. I don't want to mix anything up.
No,
you make mistakes. It happens, but
yep. Everybody's gonna make mistakes. I mean, that's different because you're building it. You're building it from like the whole website, though. I mean, that's even technically, it's different.
It's been a journey. I'll say that much, but it's fun. I mean, it's experience, right? So, because I used to do consignments myself as well back in the day. I never really promoted it because I wasn't set up to be an official consignment business, but it was just people were just sending me stuff because I was doing the podcast and people trusted me, and I sold things for them, and it was fine, and I paid my taxes the proper way. But also, being a consignment business, there's a lot of things that I think you should or have to do to be a proper auction house or consignment business, with insurance, with sending what do you have to send 1099s or W9 or what do you have to send? I think 1099s, right?
I mean, technically you're providing the service and they're paying you the fee. So, I mean, technically they should be sending you 1099, but I'm a corporation and corporations don't need 1099s and blah, 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 all that tax stuff. But and then filing a, return in every single state you do business in. It's a lot. It's a lot of pain.
That's a lot. Well, thankfully eBay takes care of most of that, right?
Yeah, for sales tax, but you still, if you have, sales in a lot of states, like you just, no matter what, you have to give them fees with it. I think if you sell like $1 in California, you still have to pay like a $1,200 franchise board fee. There's just a whole lot of stuff you have to do.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I just hand it to CPA and just write a check. But
there's a lot that goes into this stuff that's supposed to be properly done. I know this business has always kind of been a gray area for most people, but yeah, it can be very tricky for those that want to legitimately start the business, scale it, build it. There's a lot of difficult, expensive, tedious tasks that you have to go through when you're buying and selling cards through the world. So, you mentioned you've done over 2 million this year already. We're 7 months in. That's quick. That's awesome.
Yeah,
For
it
a
is a lot.
3-man team, especially, that's a lot of money. What was the growth trajectory like for you? Since again, you started doing this at the end of
Uh,
2020 or beginning of 21?
the consignment was the like last half of 2021. I think
Okay.
we did like 600,000, and then last year was 1.9 million. Now we're at 2 this year, so we should
Wow.
double again. But
That's awesome.
yeah, yeah. The thing with though, like with employees, like you always, and now we're like, in an office, and that takes a lot. And we, the business insurance. There's a whole lot of like overhead that even if it's not like a brick and mortar, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of overhead that you start the month way negative,
Yeah.
and you really have to make sure there's somehow a steady stream. That's why I really got into the providing that service of grading cards and then getting them auctioned, because that gives me a backlog to where otherwise it's like I go to the post office and hope there's packages there this week, right? I mean, that's really, if you don't have something to kind of backstop that, which is
Right.
why we have the service of getting the stuff graded, and then we actually have a list of like, oh well, we know this much is in, we will eventually get this, blah blah blah. It's just you show up and you hope there's packages there. It's kind of it's a little scary, especially when you have a lot to pay out each month. But
So you're not spending time on getting your analytics and data for your investors to tell them what's coming in each month.
yeah, no, it's
No, that's
yeah.
nice. I hate that part. So doing it for yourself, you're not really inclined to have to provide all those numbers, all that data. So, did you
Yeah,
say you sent out 7,000 that you have in backlog, or just in total you sent out 7,000 to PSA?
like 7,000, and we're about like 1,000 for the first CGC. We've gotten back a couple thousand. I bet we have like 5,000 ish still at PSA.
Okay, so
And then
realistically, you only have a backlog of 5 weeks
yeah, yeah,
between all those cards. Is
yeah.
what's I mean, do you have an even bigger backlog than that just at the office now? Are you pretty set for a few months, or is it
Uh,
really at the you're really waiting and hoping still
we do
for
have
things to come in?
we do have people who send duplicates. Like they'll send like, hey, I have however many of this. Like I want to split up over a certain amount of weeks. I have at least 5, 6, 700 of Rusty TCA Gaming. He sent us a lot of stuff
Oh,
to
good. Thanks, Rusty.
actually send. Yeah, yeah, he sent us a lot of stuff to. So I have that kind of uh, there. But otherwise, no, it's just kind of building that and kind of just creating, a good customer experience so that they come back. I mean, I really need to look at the numbers, but it has to be like, unless you send it to us and that's like your whole collection, that's it. Like you're never going to have some again. For people who have like a lot of cards and who try it once, it's a very high return rate. So,
That's nice.
so that's kind of the big thing. It kind of snowballs, right? You get one person who likes it and they come back. I'm sure it's with like, rare candy too. I'm sure somebody who sends something in and then they like it, and you see that same name come in,
Yeah.
again. It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I was taught that a few years ago from one of my buddy's dads who has a educational snack company. He likes to treat his customers as the few, the some, and the many. So the few are those big guys who kind of keep you afloat, make sure you have consistent things coming in every month, and then the some are kind of those more repeatable customers, but hopefully that word of mouth expands and they can turn into those few. And then the many are just you're just on the phone all day long trying to get more and more people in who hopefully buy something. So
Right.
yeah, I like to focus on landing those few to snowball the company and then build out from there. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed that clip, be sure to check out the full video podcast right here. And every Thursday, we drop a new podcast that premieres on YouTube here live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So be sure to subscribe and comment down below which guest you'd like me to have on next.